Fajr time, what do you say about 18 degrees in Fajr time? And if you kindly remind about the app that you mentioned last time, Sheikh, Jazakallahu khair.
18 degrees, ya ikhwani, it's absolutely incorrect because the angle varies according to the season. What the angle is during the winter is definitely a different angle from the summer. In the summer, you could use even as little as 12 degrees, not 18. So these angles are not correct. The best is to do it with your own sighting. I have encouraged you the last time to do your own homework, to go out and start seeing at least the sun when it sets, what time, and also to make sure that maybe you could really go and calculate your Fajr as well. Maybe the Fajr, you need to be practicing how to see the Fajr, which is the horizon light that breaks the light. So the 18 degrees and the 12 degrees is not correct. We will work it out like this. If you didn't really do it, most of you, they don't do it with your own sighting. You could have the element of being precautious, ihtiyat. So let's say, for example, you can't see the sun, okay? And you're working by timetable. Go with the timetable. All the timetables, by the way, they have precautionary time. All of the timetable. They even once Ramadan kicks in, you'll start finding the time for the sunset had jumped, subhanallah, 5 minutes later. Okay, how can it be? It was 1 minute increment, now it's 5 minutes suddenly. Why is that? So if you don't have the sun, you can't see it, you can't work it out and everything, go by the timetable of your masjid. And that timetable has got in itself the element of precautionary time. Don't go to the one which is later on, because it's already, as I said, it's been calculated. But it would be handful and very beneficial for you if you just work out the sunset from the timetable. So let's say, for example, timetable of yours says sunset today is 7:30. And you looked at the sun and you saw it. It's actually the whole disk goes down with your own eyes. There's no clouds there. About 7:25, not 7:30. So you know there's 5 minutes. So you will be relaxingly now. Every time that is the timetable says 7:35, you will break your fast 7:30 because you have 5 minutes. My timetable, which is in High Wycombe when it was 7 minutes. And 7 minutes, it was from the person who was really up in the high mountain in High Wycombe, because High Wycombe is a valley and it's a high, which is high the mountain. Wycombe is a valley. We as in the masjid, we are in the valley. And the person who was seeing the sun and sighting the sun for the sunset, he could see it. It would set about 7 minutes before our timetable. And remember, we are lower than him. So the sun would set even earlier than it sets for him because he's high. You could see the sun. Yet he is high and we are low. It sets 7 minutes before our timetable comes in. That means we are at least 10 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, 9 minutes. So I used to take 7 minutes. When I see the timetable of ours like this, 7 minutes before the timetable, I break my fast, unless I could see the sun with my own eyes. The thing that you asked me, the application, there's no application. It's just you go to Google. Google will tell you definitely 100% the sunset in your place. And will tell you the sunrise, 100%. And will tell you as well the twilight. Now, there's twilights there, 3 twilights, astronomical and civil and the nautical. The astronomical, that comes first. And then the nautical, and then the civil, the last one. You look for the nautical one, whether it's nautical twilight or nautical dawn. Those can be a very good indication, but you have to as well work out, is it correct or not properly. What I do, for example, for my Isha prayer, I look at the nautical twilight and I have my Isha correct according to the time, what I've seen my own eyes. I could see that the Shafaq twilight had disappeared. Okay. All right. So you'll find, unfortunately, even some of the masajid timetables, the Isha is there before the actual Isha, especially in the summer. The Isha for them is earlier. And I remember, and don't call that masjid, I think some of you know which masjid we're talking about here. I was watching the Shafaq twilight, and the brothers were doing Isha prayer in that masjid. And I even called that person. I said, I could see the Shafaq clear. The red is there, 100%. It cannot be Isha. It is impossible. So you need another maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes to come for the Isha come in. So, well, those times are gone out now, alhamdulillah. They're gone away because of Ramadan. It was at the time in July and June. Now we're coming much better for us. So no problem, we could make the people a bit wait later. But before, we can't, some of the people can't really start, for example, 11:10, 11:15. It's for them, it's too hard. But that's the time that the issue is to come in. The Fajr is called nautical dawn. As well, nautical dawn, you will find it comes after the Fajr of the timetable of yours in the masjid. Let's say, for example, your Fajr comes in, let's say, for the sake of just, that is comes 5:30 in the morning. You'll find that the nautical one, 5:45, 5:40, about 10, 15 minutes after, even in some timetables, even more than that. Now, for your prayer, you definitely use your Google nautical dawn. And the website that you want to use is UK time. That's the one. Can you just Google it out, please? Yeah. I think Ahmed, you will know. You put it on the chatting there. It's called UK time. That website will tell you the nautical dawn and the nautical, and for your own place. You could just put your own city where you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
The site, another one which says clearly is ukweathercamps.co.uk, has all the specific, and you can see the Luton and you can set it, and then it stays there. ukweathercamps.co.uk.
It's on the chat now for everybody who wants to save it. Okay, that's for the area of Luton. That's put your own area.
Yeah, it's the UK weather cams. That's the one. UK weather cams. That's the one. Yes, correct. UK weather. Yeah, weather cams. UK weather cam. That's the one. It will tell you exactly what you have. You got there. Astronomical twilight begins. Nautical twilight begins. Dawn civil twilight begins. Sunrise. So if I put that and I share it with you, inshallah, that would be good. So you could understand, everybody, what we're talking about. Can you see it? Is it see it to you guys, or can you see it? Yeah.
Yes, Sheikhana.
Right. Okay. So this is basically where the place says London here. You could change that whatever you like. You could put it whatever city you are in, and then you could put the dates, which date that you want. Today's 29th, and it will tell you here those numbers here, the digits. It would say to you, for example, astronomical twilight begins, nautical twilight begins, dawn civil twilight begins. And then sunrise, and then sun at highest points, and the sunset, and then the civil twilight ends, nautical twilight ends, and astronomical twilight begins. So what is this astronomical twilight, nautical twilight? Okay, so first three digits represents what is the morning. Okay, what is the morning there? So astronomical twilight begins. This is where it's going to be very dark, 4:44, and that is synchronizes with some of the Fajr of some of the timetables, like the Da'bandi Masjid. I've seen that they go with the astronomical twilight. So you'll find, for example, their Fajr during the summer, if you remember, 1:30, just 1 hour and a half after midnight, they start their fast, and it stays even 1:20. I've seen one early one, 1:20, all the way 1:20 it doesn't change. Second one, which is the nautical twilight. This is the one that we reckon this is the Fajr, because this is the break of the light. I've synchronized it with when the light, you see it horizontally. Nautical twilight. And that is 5:27 at the moment in London. The civil twilight, that means really light, much light. And then you got the sunrise, 6:40. And that sunrise will be very precise to your place. Sunset is the same thing, very precise. You could see like here minutes and even seconds, and telling you even by the second what time is the sunrise and the sunset. Now we come to the dusk, which is to do with the night now, which is after sunset. So you don't want the civil, because the civil is still a lot of light. You want the nautical one. But the astronomical one, this is the Hanafi one, which is really as well. And so their Isha will be much later than the proper Isha. That's not just the Hanafi, even some of the Muslim countries, they work by the astronomical twilight, which is the disappearance of not the shafaq, even darkness. Because when the shafaq, which is the red twilight, disappears, still you're going to have light. Still you're going to have light. So for them, the astronomical, which is absolute pitch darkness, nothing. And that comes later on. And you could see here, there's a difference between about this and that is about 45 minutes. During the summer, that's more than 45 minutes. Between the nautical and the astronomical, you'll find about maybe 45 minutes to up to an hour difference between the two. So we find as well, even the ones who go by the Hanafi, when it comes to Isha, they don't implement that one. They forget about the Hanafi madhab. They do, I don't know what type of madhab they do, but there they combine the prayers or do something like that. They leave 1 hour, I think, after Maghrib, and then they pray the Isha, which is they don't really go by the Hanafi. The Hanafi is supposed to be very late. I have been in a masjid where they implemented the astronomical without any jokes. That's in Didsbury, in Manchester. I remember those days, and the Ramadan was in the summer. We're talking about here 1985, 86, 87, 1990. And I remember we used to stop eating in Manchester because it's the north, 1:15 in the morning. And our Isha times, wallahi, comes 12:51. 12:51 Isha, Fajr is 1:15, exactly 24 minutes between Isha and Fajr. Our Taraweeh, we don't do it, of course, after Isha. We do it after Maghrib. We wait 1 hour, and after Maghrib, and then we start doing Isha and Taraweeh. We don't make it's impossible to 12:51. But that was the astronomical, definitely. It was not the nautical. The nautical, I have seen it that up and down the country will not exceed 11:15. 11:15, that's the maximum, and it will disappear. And anyway, thank you for that question, and I think it's beneficial for you to know the website for you to learn. So look for nautical twilight ends, that's for your Isha, and look for nautical twilight begins, and that's for your Fajr. Okay, Dhuhr and Asr, you take it from the timetable.